I contributed time to the project and wrote content. I felt that I deserved greater acknowledgement.
I did contribute my time and my thoughts. I'll be disappointed if no one realized it.
Graduate students are the ones at risk being taken advantage of, but because of the insecurity of their position, it is difficult for them to raise concerns about not receiving enough credit.
When you are a grad student, you have very little power. It is nearly impossible to convey to professors concerns about authorship.
I put in a lot of work on the project and felt that the lack of acknowledgement undervalued my work.
It seemed as if the team member had a narrow idea of my contribution to the project.
While it was not an important role in writing the final manuscript, I'd felt that I'd made significant contribution in terms of data collection and analysis.
While coming onto the project late, I participated in a time consuming aspect of the data analysis. As a student, I believe it to have been in the best interest to be invited to be an author or at least mentioned in the acknowledgments.
I realized that they did not acknowledge or understand all that I did.
I saw them a little differently after this and questioned their decision making.
In academic papers I've worked on, it seems that the order goes by seniority on a project and not how much someone contributed to a given manuscript. For example, if someone was on a research project for 3 years and I was only there for 2 years, they would come ahead of me in authorship simply because they were there longer.
It only happened once early in my career, but I felt used by the PI senior author. I performed the study, did the analysis, and wrote the manuscript, but was withheld senior authorship because I was too young.
It was unclear what the individual's contribution was to the project who was listed before me. It seemed like it may have been a seniority thing, but I was new and didn't ask.
I had instances during my first 2 years where others were given authorship on my publications who offered very little or nothing to the development of the piece. We were advised to do this and not given the proper guidance on what constitutes collaboration. I felt manipulated and used.
I felt like the need for publications for another team member trumped their actual involvement in a project. They only did one set of analyses, and my name was listed after them on the paper.
I was disappointed because, due to my status as a student and professors who had not reached tenure yet, I was not represented as one of the main contributors to the manuscript, even though I helped form the project, helped design the study, participated in data collection, and assisted with the manuscript. But because this person had knowledge of a specific data analysis and needed publications for tenure, they were placed before me in authorship.
I was disappointed that the decision was made without me. To be honest, I felt a little ganged up on when the PI and another author on the project told me what they had decided in terms of authorship order. I felt I deserved more credit for the work I had done, but I did not feel comfortable discussing it when put on the spot like that.
I think that differences in seniority and power make open discussions regarding authorship really difficult. Graduate students are at risk of being taken advantage of, but because of the insecurity of their position, it is difficult for them to raise concerns about not receiving enough credit. Collaboration and establishing relationships is much more important for a graduate student trying to secure a position somewhere else, rather than an established senior faculty member.
In my experiences and hearing the experiences of others, it seems as if the researchers with full professorship versus researchers seeking tenure has drastic implications for how authorship is ordered.
When you're a grad student, you have very little power in decisions made in the lab. Unless the PI or faculty advisor asks for feedback and engages you in the process, it is nearly impossible to convey to professors concerns about authorship. The belief behind that is that grad students should just be lucky to have a manuscript and project in the first place and need to accept the authorship position they are given. Authorship decisions made because of need are unfair and can negatively affect grad students.